Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about this from Bounding to Comics. Gina Carano weighs in on South Park joining the Pandaverse, reveals Disney asked her to unfollow certain accounts because they said bad things about Kathleen Kennedy. Why am I not surprised that I'm reading something like this? If you haven't watched the episode yet, I suggest you do. It's a really good episode. Ranking it against the best episodes of recent years, for instance, when they used the ex of Strong Woman on when it was doing the Olympic sports or something in a competition, and she lost against her ex, which looked like a man. That one was one of the funniest in this couple of years. And then there's one of the funniest ones, at least in the last season. I think this one beats the funniest ones from last season, including one Cupid E and the toilet paper, and the one where they use ChatGPT to reply to their girlfriends. I think this one beats that. It's pretty hilarious, and I think you should actually see it. And it's surprisingly enough, very on point. Because everybody gets race and gender swapped. And there's even the vitiligo woman, which I think it's a reference to Baldur's Gate 3 and a few other games that started to add this. For some reason, they started to add vitiligo people. After all, the minority of the minority of the minority now is the most common one. Anyway, this is one of the scenes in which they discuss. This is Disney. It's pretty interesting. Cinderella, Aladdin, and Kathleen Kennedy. I'm a bit sleepy today. Obviously, yeah, it's hilarious. Cartman becomes one. Anyway. Moving on, they described the entire episode, and anyway, here is what Gina Carano said. This is the part where KK demands any YouTubers get censored off of YouTube for sharing and laughing at this hilarious episode. She'll have YouTube disable the thumbs down option because of the ratio she'll receive. Then she'll have her publicist goals make sure Variety and Hollywood Reporter run hit pieces around South Park creators and their families marrying their names through every useful idiot she has under her thumb, who would then sell their souls to work for Lucasfilm. Basically what we see in the modern day. She'll activate her online mob to repeat that the South Park creators are racist, bigots, transphobes, and demands that South Park creators publicly apologize by only using words she approves of, and finally she'll demand they subject themselves to a re-education course of 45 people in the Alphabet community Zoom call to sit there and listen to how badly they got their feelings hurt all over a little boop of a South Park episode. But maybe, just maybe, the jig is up. I think partly here what she described here is obviously a bit of a hyperbole, but I think some of them is actually quite true, especially the Zoom call with 45 people. But anyway, before I continue, here's a trailer of something important.
night. We are born of sin and crime. We are repentance personified. We are immortal. We are legend. We are God's wrath made manifest. And we know no fear.
Right, I'm back, baby, yeah. Right, it is, well, why am I not surprised that the creeps showed up? Here is one. One such critique through brief came from the official Twitter account for the Around the Galaxy podcast, wherein the administrator informed their followers, quote, "In case you were wondering, Gina Carano has lost her goddamn mind," end quote. She only said the truth, dude. Maybe a little bit of hyperbole, but nobody's counting. But she is right. Have you seen Disney lately? Have you seen how crap it is? I mean, Disney is an absolute disaster. Everything that they have made lately, everything that they have touched, has turned to shit. And as Eric Kennedy or Kathleen Catman, one or the other, has put a goddamn fucking lesbian there and make it lame. That's basically what has become. It's pretty much the same thing. What have we... Even Indiana Jones. It became lame. Anyway, it is what Gina Carano responded. "Do you always call women crazy because she has more first-hand experience than you and says something you don't like or understand? Bit misogynistic, don't you think?" And yes, she's actually got a good point, especially from the people who screams, "Oh, that's misogynistic," on anything critical of Disney and anything else that we criticize of the woke crowd. This is the first idiot who these are the first idiots, not this one, but these, as in plural. There's more than one idiot. But anyway, continuing. "Curious if your overlords pay you, or do y'all just go ahead and shove your whole head straight up their ass for free? I'm guessing for free. Might want to come out for some fresh air." I agree, they need it. They probably be quite a bit brown, but details. For some added context, not just for you, but for the people reading, one of the things your overlords asked me to do was to unfollow certain accounts because they, quote, said bad things about Kathleen Kennedy. That was a huge red flag for me. And yes, that one was true, and this is one of the biggest red flags that you're dealing with people whose feelings are very, very, very fragile, which is exactly what you'll expect from Kathleen Kennedy. I wonder what screeching that bitch has done after that South Park episode came out, because obviously the decision for them to delay the Snow White movie has been taken before the South Park episode came out, but it shows that they are reeling. Anyway, moving on. If I were the head of one of the most powerful entertainment companies in the world, I would know that haters come with the territory and that maybe the, quote, haters, unquote, are expressing their thoughts because they actually care, and caring is a good thing, because as long as they care, well, hey, we still have something to work with. Exactly. Maybe we can win their hearts back eventually, and maybe they do have some good things to add to the conversation, quote. Parentheses, which they do and did. And at the very least, they are still buying the product. Look at Mando, aka Mandalorian. Season 1, boom! The healing had begun. And then it went down to shit. in the other seasons. If you're a proper good leader, you learn how to embrace and communicate, not dictate and silence and demand your actors and directors and follow and shame more than half of your fan base and the people who have stuck with the franchise for decades. Exactly, I stuck with Star Wars for decades. Guess what I'm doing today? The only Star Wars I'm actually consuming are old stuff that I already have. I haven't bought, watched, or done anything since Disney, or anything that Disney has done in regard to Star Wars. That ought to be a large quantity of money lost. Trust me. Anyway, moving on. A side note, don't say, quote, the Force is female, and then allow only the men to express their political views online. In fact, just drop the ridiculous phrase completely. One of the problems you overlords are having now is that they have made a lot of people completely stop caring about one of the most beloved franchises in history, all by bullying, pushing aggressive agendas, and trying to silence the people criticizing them. She has a huge, like a fat kid in a candy shop, huge point. Do you know how much it took for me to stop caring about Star Wars and Star Trek? A lot. I had to see a lot of shit coming out for me to stop caring about it. Anyway. How are they able to tell stories they don't understand when the ones they identify with are the Empire? They are literally trying to squash the little guys, the rebellion. No wonder the storytelling is struggling. Good point. They fire and dehumanize people like me who did absolutely nothing wrong, all to virtue signal to people like you. The yes man. But yes man, unfortunately for you and them, do not drive culture. No, they definitely do not. Maybe they were banking on kids picking up the slack, but one of the best things about this franchise is passing it from generation to share. The competition is too high to throw out something as valuable as that. Why would one generation pass it on when you're disrespecting and throwing them away? Exactly. To the point that I just don't give a shit anymore about Star Wars. If you're gonna get anything, me talking about Star Wars and enjoying it, like I said, it's going to be something old, pre-Disney. And I'm not buying anything new. The only game that I saw from Star Wars was that maybe brought me to the attention, but even then I'm not that interested. It's called Squadrons. But that's about it. Anyway. Your overlords try to hide behind the two opposing fan bases fighting each other instead of taking responsibility, so they encourage the hate, all while virtue signaling they are standing up for minorities, but instead using them as a shield and weapon. Funny enough, just how our government works. Yeah, basically. They're using minorities, female, anybody else as a shield and a weapon to go and spread their retarded nonsense, even though that minority, that person, is actually telling them, go fuck yourself. Obviously, they then stop being that and become a white Christian male with blue eyes and blonde hair. Anyway, they think people will forget, and yes, maybe they will, but for this moment, they have heard the people's voice and it shook them. They're choosing to stick with their weak leadership who couldn't handle YouTubers saying mean things online. When all it would have taken is a true leader to step in, take the reins, take some responsibility, stop discriminating people, apologize about the things that have been done wrong, step completely out of politics, be truly inclusive, and they'll be back in business. Until then, they are stuck with you and the yes men and their plummeting stock, and the possibility of becoming a subsidiary of Apple. I'm not saying I'm right on all fronts, but I'm open-hearted and refuse to discriminate based off powerful people telling me how to think and act, and if there was something I needed to apologize for, I would have it in a heartbeat. But I didn't say or do anything wrong. People come up to me daily to shake my hand and thank me for taking a stand, even people who think differently. And I agree. I would definitely shake her hand and tell her, Thank you for standing up. Anyway, continuing. One thing is true. Good leadership makes for a better world, leading to healthier and happier people and better opportunity. Look around. We are watching the devastating effects of what bad leadership can do worldwide. Basically, yeah. She has a very huge, amazingly big point. And right now, that's the world we live in, as Cartman is shown here in this image. The world is like that, and I am Cartman. Cannot take it anymore. Diversity, like a forced diversity. Look, consume this diversity, because otherwise you are racist. It's funny that the fat Asian lady over there has a Wonder Woman t-shirt. Pretty funny. And another one with vitiligo there, although I think it may be the same one on the first image that I show. Kenny is an Asian woman. Kyle is I think is an Indian woman. Stan is a Latina. Butters is a black lesbian with blonde hair. Pretty hilarious, but it's expected. But anyway, if you haven't seen it already, I suggest you do. It's a very good episode. It's a very, very good one, and you should watch it because it definitely mocks Disney. And don't forget, Cartman kills Kennedy. Or Kenny. Not Kennedy, Kenny. Cartman kills Kenny in this episode. Ah, damn it. Anyway, on that goddamn fucking hell, have a great fucking night. And remember also, fuck you, YouTube. Literally, go fuck yourself, YouTube.